a totally new story emerged, giving us more details into who and why everything happened the way that it did. And I think it'll lead us all, as we already see some banter going back and forth in the comment section here, it'll lead us all afterwards into a healthy debate over how we view the main character, Derek Hubbard. Hubbard's a 36-year-old Santa Cruz dispensary owner who was arrested at the heart of this story. Though police say that he was a victim of the early morning robbery at his facility on Encinal Street, he was also the only one being held without bail in Santa Cruz County Jail. Per the article, Hubbard allegedly rammed into and shot at the escape vehicles of multiple thieves as they were leaving the scene around 4:30 a.m. Police arrived long after and were unable to apprehend the thieves. And Hubbard, he runs a cannabis cultivation, manufacturing, and distribution center. Um, Santa Cruz Police Chief John Bush, we were talking about a second ago, he said that Hubbard had been the victim of the prior break-in robbery, and his security system alerted him of the burglary going down between Monday night and Tuesday morning. The rest of what went down was mostly covered, in Jason's coverage. Um, the rolling gun battle through Harvey West neighborhood, but the police alleged that it was Hubbard that initiated the shooting with the departing thieves. It was his fault that everything went down, so they say. Deputy Chief Bush said that Hubbard used lethal and deadly force to try and stop what was ultimately a property crime from occurring without there being any threat of violence toward him. One of the vehicles believed to be involved in the robbery, reported stolen out of the Bay Area, was abandoned near the Pasatiempo exit on Highway 17, and police were unable to provide a description of a second vehicle believed to be involved. I'm sure there's a surveillance video there of the second vehicle. But while Santa Cruz police initially booked Hubbard on suspicion of 4 counts of attempted murder, the Santa Cruz County District Attorney's Office elected to file numerous lesser charges, including felony shooting of an inhabited dwelling, 4 counts of assault with a semi automatic rifle, and 3 counts of assault with a deadly weapon. Per the article, the charges include several special enhancements for the use of a weapon in commission of a felony. And the Sentinel spoke to a man Tuesday saying that he was the dispensary's general manager. He said he and others in the field are aware of organized crime ring whose members targeted licensed cannabis businesses throughout the state and have picked up their efforts locally in the past month and a half. Amid a group of local business owners sharing information, thieves had begun using similar tactics that have largely armed and masked groups showing up in multiple high-speed vehicles who are breaking in with professional tools, and he then counted at least 10 people involved in Monday's theft before adding that professionals in the industry say that they feel like they don't receive the same level of law enforcement response as other businesses, despite being highly regulated and highly taxed. Here's what he said: "We're put in such a bad and dangerous position right now. These stings are targeting these companies and hitting them over and over and over again. Now they're trying to prosecute someone for defending their own life and defending their own property when we're being targeted by these monsters that would kill us in a second." You know what? He's got a point. Are these legal business owners supposed to just sit back and take it? What's the solution here if the cops aren't holding up their sworn oath to serve and protect? The natural response? Is it not vigilante justice? So, my question to everybody is should Derek Hubbard be viewed as a murderous pariah or psychopath chasing down folks and shooting them in the middle of the night with reckless abandon? Or should he be seen as an industry hero, willing to do what it takes to defend his business and possibly that of others? Personally, I don't know Hubbard, but I do empathize. To me, his response to the second armed robbery on his own business, a live action threat in progress to his blood, sweat, and tears, was about as patriotic as it gets in a capitalist society to me. Um, but that's just my personal opinion. Is Rico to meet the dopest dad on the street for High 9 News? Hubbard was scheduled for arraignment this morning at 8:15 a.m. Before Santa Cruz County Superior Court Judge Saida Cagliati. We'll see, we'll give you guys updates on what we hear, the developments on this one. So, what are your thoughts on Hubbard? Is he a dangerous criminal who deserves to be behind bars, or is he a true American hero? Let's hear it.
Well,
I say he's a hero, man.
I say he's a
I
hero
don't
too.
think he's either one of them.
You don't think he's
I think
either
he's
one,
not either
Dale?
one of them.
Really? What do you
No.
think?
Well, the problem is that cannabis is still considered soft crime,
Mm-hmm.
and I've got lots of clients who ended up, several of them in Oakland, when the cops just wouldn't show up and they kept coming back. They ended up in firefights with them, shooting over the walls from across the street. It's an untenable position because law enforcement does not view this like if you go rob a bank, nobody, the general manager doesn't have to come out and shoot at the car leaving. There's going to the FBI and every local unit is going to be up their ass in a hot second. We don't get those kind of responses here, even though we pay exorbitant taxes and they're supposed to be covering our law enforcement part of this. We have extra procedures and costs for law enforcement. I mean, for enforcement at the facility and security, got all these cameras, and the cops just are like fucking Barney Fife. Well, I don't know what to do. Well, what are you left with? If it's all cash and they steal your shit and you're out of business, of course, at some point, you're going to shoot somebody back if you know they
You
got
snap.
guns. Now, I
Yeah.
don't make them a hero, but it's an untenable position. And law enforcement's like, la, 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 la. We got other things to do.
Mm-hmm.
It's not right, but it's real.
Yeah, I think he's a hero, and I think that if he is charged with any charges, I hope that he takes it to trial, and I hope that a jury of his peers releases him, because the reality of it is this: is if that law enforcement isn't going to do the job, then the people need to step up and do the job, and so they are opening up themselves to this by the fact that law enforcement doesn't take any of these types of things seriously when it comes to cannabis businesses.
Yeah. Yeah. You know what? I agree with you, Dale. He's put between a rock and a hard place, right?
Hmm.
Um,
Yeah.
and so I somewhat retract. I get me like calling him an outright hero. Like I said, I don't know the guy. I don't know him personally or anything. This is a shitty situation. You
Mm-hmm.
know, if you're paying all of these
Yep. You're
taxes
damned if you
and
do, and you're damned if you don't.
yeah,
Either way.
and right. And then you have all the other stuff that the California industry, all the other pressure you're into, like you're under right now. And this is the second time it's happened to his business
And you know
within weeks.
the thing
Like
about these types of
you're gonna
criminals,
snap.
is they know that the cannabis businesses really aren't going to be moving, and so they become long term targets, and then they already know how to
Yeah.
break in and whatnot. So of course they're going to come back and continue to do this. And so one of the only ways to deter people from doing that is popping them.
Right. And
Oh,
it's yeah, I don't know. I mean, I wish Chris Eggers was on here today too to talk about it. Like from a former police officer's perspective. This is just shitty. Like
Mm-hmm.
all around, it's shitty on the number one on the police on their end. Like you're not, you know exactly who's targeting these businesses. Yeah, you have all these CCTVs set up. This is California. The only place with more public surveillance than California is New York City.
Mm-hmm.
Right, so we have all these cameras set up everywhere. They know all this information on everybody, but you're just gonna let it go, right? You're gonna continue letting these people's businesses be attacked, and then you're throwing this guy in jail. Like, yeah, he's a business owner. He's a cannabis business owner. He knew the risks going in to this whole situation.
Mm-hmm.
But should he be left out on a limb to just fend for himself in the middle of nowhere? Like I personally think no. You know, I empathize with him in this moment. Like, yeah, he snapped.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody has their
Has their
breaking
breaking
point.
point. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So
well, the complicating factor is still guns around cannabis.
I I
That
I agree with
that
you on
really
that.
kills this.
I agree with
yeah,
you on that, Dale. It is going to be
agreed.
interesting to see what they say in regards with that. But I do find it interesting that none of these articles even touched on that fact.
None of
Neither of
them.
them mentioned
Well,
that fact.
they're by the same they're by the same outlet, right?
No,
You know, they're not
I don't. No,
not both by the Sentinel.
I don't think so. I don't think so. Let me go.
Yeah, they
Yeah,
want to screw with you about guns. They can do that at a federal level, and you're just toast because you
Mm-hmm.
can't have guns around this. And shooting people over weed is definitely a violation of the federal, controlled substances and gun laws.
and
And you really
California
are
gun
put
laws
in a
are
bad position because
yeah,
I've
California
got
gun laws
clients
are
that
worse than others.
Oh, Rico,
I
you are
can't
right. These are
I can't
both.
recommend they use a gun because I can't recommend to do things I know are unlawful. But I do have clients who've called me and said, I shot the son of a bitch back. I shot back at him because they came in for the third time and no cops did anything, but there were gunfire exchanged, and it's like, this is just not a good place to be. There's no place to look where there's a happy ending to that. And Jason, I think you're right. If you go to trial and a jury of your peers say, nah, 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 nah,
Yep.
we're not going to convict you of this kind of stuff over failure to respond by the cops, and they've got guns. Clearly, they got guns because they're shooting back at you.
Exactly.
Chicken and egg thing. It's really hard to advise clients who are in these positions. And
And
we do criminal law in our firm too, and we haven't picked one of these up yet. But juries are not stupid. If they look at this and go, yeah, we understand that you're put between a rock and a hard place. These guys clearly have guns. They're organized. They've come after you. The cops won't do shit. Now what?
And one other thing that I find a little interesting in regards with this story is on the gun topic, and why is it that they didn't mention this in any of the other articles? It baffles me that they're not bringing up these points exactly right here in this article.
It's
Just
yeah,
Well,
man. It's all the game's all fucked up, man.
mm-hmm,
And these legal business owners and operators, they should not be put in this position.
mm-hmm.
If it, I don't know what I don't even know how to start at a solution with this, because being from my political flavor, like I'm all about, I'm about vigilante
Yeah.
justice. you know, I'm from a place in America where shit like this does not go down without the expectation of you getting capped.
Mm-hmm.
So, so you, you don't have a lot of these issues, in VA in the South where people are doing dumb shit like this because you will end up with a bullet in you, and it won't be just you showing off bullet wounds. You will be dead.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know where you fix this issue. I know that Gavin Newsom is trying to get tougher on guns in California, but people who got guns still got them,
Well,
right? That people are gonna get shit from out of state and get them in here. And if you're not protecting yourself, you are a sitting duck as a business owner.
Well, and the other part of this, it clearly states that the law enforcement is saying that they're trying to figure out if there's additional charges, because they're basically said in there that that basically you don't have the right to shoot at anyone until they actually shoot at you. So that means that's the only, I don't believe that that's a definition of fear for your life. I'm not buying that for a second. I could be fearful for my life, and I don't even need to see a gun. You know what I mean? That just is batshit crazy to me. But
I think we should have some version of the castle doctrine for
yeah, I
legal
feel as
business
though as
for legal businesses.
if you're brandishing a gun and you're acting like you're coming to do whatever, to me that's already a threat, and whoever shoots first and is the best shot is going to win.
Yeah, I mean, it's in special situations. I'll put that asterisk on there. In special situations, like if your business is under attack, if you have people coming at you, like this is a broader indictment that I'm making on society. Like you have people that are struggling. You have people, taxes are high. The cost of living is crazy in
It's the
California.
holiday
Like
season coming up.
yeah, listen, man. I empathize with the people who have to do effed up things,
Mm-hmm.
right? But I also empathize with the legal business owners, and they have to be able to protect themselves too. There has to be a point where if we are paying this money that goes into police officers and for them to protect our communities, we have to be able to trust the system. This dude shouldn't have had to roll out of a bed in the middle of the night, see a security camera, get in his car, and get there before the cops got there. Like
Mm-hmm.
that shouldn't have been a thing.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and I try really, really, really hard to empathize with the law enforcement on situations, but I just do not see law enforcement doing much of anything to protect business owners these days.
Mm-hmm.
So
I
like, and so I can go back, and I know you love this one, Jason. I can go back to BLM protest days, you know, say defund the police. Like if they're not doing anything,
defund
why
the
are you
police
continuing
was
giving
the
money to them?
defund the
Why are
police
they,
was
why
the
are we not
dumbest
giving
thing
them
ever.
grades publicly, and allocating funds elsewhere? My thoughts, man.
Mm-hmm. Well, we already know how you feel about it. You want an anarchical
Yeah, you know how I
society.
feel about it.
Yeah, you want an
You know
anarchical
you know how I
society.
feel, man.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
people,
Mm-hmm. Were you saying something, Yarrow?
libertarianism, man. It's look it up. It's one ladder. That's one step on the ladder of anarchy.
Adam, do you have him muted by any chance? Because Yarrow can't talk.
Yeah, Yarrow is
Yarrow's a mute. Yarrow's got something going
Yarrow's in the
on.
matrix
He
over
can
there.
talk, we just can't hear him.
Yeah. You should do sign language, Yarrow.
Pantomime.
Yeah. Oh man, and on that, we're gonna go to a commercial. We're gonna be right back.